here are Murph and Markus with Giants President of Baseball Operations, Buster Posey, on the Sports Leader.
All right, super happy to talk to Buster Posey about these Giants. So many fun things to talk about, interesting things to talk about, too. The Murph and Markus Show is sponsored by Bigelow Tea. Grab a mug and tea proudly. He's on the UMA guest line. And the executive show is sponsored by Benjamin Moore Paints. Experience the Benjamin Moore retail difference at our independently owned authorized retailers today or at benjaminmoore.com. Artful timing, Buster. You said, I'll go on the radio as long as we win 12-3 the night before and Rafi hits 2 homers. So well played, Buster. Good morning. How are you?
Morning, Buster.
Yeah, I didn't recall that caveat, but happy to join you guys after that one last night.
Yeah, I mean, seriously, we'll just start on that positive stuff there. I mean, Rafi, when you famously said Rafael Devers is a dude, that was kind of the signature statement. I guess, Buster, that's what you were talking about, right? And I guess my question to you is, do you think it's taken him maybe this long to sort of settle down and get comfortable? Is it fair to say that the previous 2 months was because he was still getting settled?
I mean, I couldn't answer that. You'd have to ask him. I think he's a guy that's shown throughout his career that he's going to go through some patches, some cold patches and some hot patches. And you look at the bulk of his career and what he's done, the first 8 years in the big leagues, and the numbers are pretty steady. And I'm sure that there's been some times where he hoped his performance would have been better throughout his tenure with us so far. But, he shows up every day. He's continually working at first base. He's putting the work in with the bat. The guy loves to play baseball. You can see it on the field with the smiles, and he wants to win. So it's nice for him to have a big night and help us win that game last night.
Buster, it seems like it's a similar situation to what we kind of saw earlier this year with Willy Adames, where it took him a few months to get settled in as well. But you look at his stats now, he's got 22 home runs on the season, and it seems like he's playing some really good defensive baseball as well. What have you seen from Willy Adames in the second half?
Yeah, the main thing for Willie, I think we all felt confident when we were talking about him signing, is that we knew the person that we were getting. We knew we were going to have a guy that showed up and wanted to play every day, and he's been that guy. I mean, I've probably mentioned it on this show before, but for him to struggle like he did in the early part of the season, show up, be the same guy every day, and for him to turn it around, it's felt good for him. It's been good for us to see, and another guy that works hard on both sides of the ball, leader of the team, and just thrilled to think about him being a Giant for a long time, and hopefully it's something that our fans with Adames and Devers and Chapman, knowing those guys are going to be in the lineup daily, and then for years to come is certainly something that I'm looking forward to watching.
Buster Posey, the voice you hear on the UMA guest line. Giants win 12-3 last night. They won 4 in a row. That leads to the question. Now, Buster, were we doing this interview, a week ago after the Padres series or something, there would have been a lot of negativity, a lot of like, what happened? Now we ask the question, are you actually legitimately thinking about making a run to the postseason? Is that a realistic option for you?
Well, there's no doubt we're up against it, right? I mean, you look at the teams ahead of us, you look how much season is left right now. We're up against it, but the feeling is you're going to fight tooth and nail to the end, and I think Adames said as much in a post-game interview recently, and it's nice to see the guys are doing that. So again, we're up against it, but it's not out of the realm of possibilities, and I think everybody feels that, and you never know. That's what's so great about sports is you got to show up each day, work hard, play the game, and see how things shake out.
Buster, correct me if I'm wrong, but going back to 2010, you guys were about 5-6 games out in the NL West at the end of August behind the Padres before you guys made the run in September, which obviously led to a World Series run. So you've been in a clubhouse before where maybe you are 5-6 games out of a playoff spot in August. How easy or how hard is it to kind of forget about everything that's happened so far and just focus on September and these final 30 or so games?
You most definitely just have to focus on what you can control, and that's showing up each day, playing hard, and trying to win the game. If I remember correctly as well, the Padres had a rough patch there in September that allowed us to make up some ground. So you got to play really good baseball, and then you're going to need the teams in front of you to scuffle a little bit. But again, it's not out of the realm of possibilities.
As the great Ashcon said, Marcus, and thankfully the Padres choked in the song Don't Stop Believing. They lost, I want to say they lost 10 in a row or something like that, which, as you point out, Buster, means anything can happen. So you mentioned, again, I said to you, if we were doing this interview anytime in the past 3 weeks, there would have been a lot of negativity. Now we feel a lot better about this 4-game win streak. But I guess the question is you mentioned Devers, Adames, and Chapman. Fans can look forward to them for years to come. So my question is, are you outright stating there's a full-on belief in this nucleus? Or the alternate option is, did this year's not great results make you question this nucleus? In other words, is this nucleus sort of playing to prove to you that they can stay together in 2026?
No, I believe in the nucleus. I mean, again, I think what makes me feel good is the character of these players. Each year can be different, and again, look, we've got 30-ish games left now. And as we've talked about, the first 5 or 6 minutes this morning is you never know what can happen. So we're focused on this year for sure. But yeah, the total belief in this nucleus and understand that this was the first year for the three of them to play together, with Rafi not even having a full year. And excited about their leadership and the players around them on both sides of the ball that we're going to get to watch going forward and continue to work and get better. Again, I don't want to get ahead because we still do have the remainder of this season, and that's our focus.
Yeah, so at the risk of asking a blunt, dumb question here, I guess because fans were so mad and say, is the word, quote unquote, blowing it up? Is that on the table? Like major reshuffling in the offseason? Is that still on the table, or are you rejecting that?
Yeah, I don't know what that means. I don't know what majorly blowing it up. We'll, as a front office, we'll look and see how we see best to put the best team on the field in 26. But as far as majorly blowing it up, whatever that means, I don't.
I guess it would be, I told you it was a blunt, dumb question. It would mean trading one of your big nucleus guys, like getting rid of, like changing your nucleus.
No, I don't see that happening.
All right.
Buster, you mentioned Patrick Bailey's name as one of those players included in that nucleus, and you know that we've talked a lot this year about Patrick offensively and defensively. So what can you give us on his progress report so far this year and what you've seen from him and the belief of him still being part of that nucleus moving forward?
Yeah, I mean, I think he's continuing to make strides behind the plate and how he manages games, how he manages the staffs during the games, and in the clubhouse, post game, whatever as well. It's no secret he's scuffled offensively. I do think there are some signs as of late that he's making some progress there, and he's a guy. He's still a pretty young guy that is learning himself. He's learning all the subtleties and nuances that go into the game, and from what I can tell, sometimes some of those baby incremental gains are harder to see, but I think he's moving in the right direction. And anytime you have a guy behind the plate that has the defensive value that he does, and the way that he can gain the confidence of the pitching staff, it's a huge plus for your team.
All right, Buster, we're going around. There's so many things to talk about. I know you don't want to anoint anybody, and you want this guy to grind and fight as hard as he can, but are you close to finding your second baseman? Is Casey Schmidt cementing himself as your second baseman?
Well, he's another guy. You talk about making games. I mean, for me, watching Casey over the past few years, he looks like he's starting to believe that he belongs. And I keep an eye on him just, around the clubhouse in the cage and the way he carries himself, his ability to go to second mid-season, not easy, right? A guy who's naturally a third baseman, probably more comfortable on the left side of the infield. He looks more and more comfortable each day. We saw last night a double play that he and Adames turned that really got me excited. Just with it looked like it came more natural to him. He showed off his arm strength. I think he's going to continue to get better and better. He's a very naturally gifted baseball player. You're starting to see him at the plate lay off some of those pitches that are going down and away from him a little bit more. It seems like he's got an idea of what he wants to do. Big 2-out RBI last night, so we're definitely excited about the progress Casey's making.
Buster, we've talked a lot about how important defense is to this roster, so I wanted to ask you about Elliot Ramos in the outfield because according to the advanced analytics, his defensive metrics have taken a step back this year. So how comfortable are you guys with Elliot Ramos in left field moving forward?
Yeah, Elliot's going to be a big part of our team going forward, no doubt about it. And look, as a Major League Baseball player, you never arrive. It doesn't matter if you're 1 year, 2 years in, 10 years in, 15 years in. Verlander's a prime example. He's constantly tweaking and working on things 20 years into a Hall of Fame career. So there's confidence that Elliot most definitely has the athletic ability to improve defensively. And, he's a guy that likes to work. And if you've got somebody that likes to work, that's a great place to start because you know that at least there's the ability, and he's shown that he can be a better defender. And we believe that going forward that those are going to improve. And the reason for that belief, I think, is because he's a worker and he wants to be a great player.
Yeah, definitely. We'll track that progress. Meanwhile, on the other side of the outfield, I think the last time we talked to you, we said, so what's the plan in right field? You said, let's see what happens. And right now we're watching Luis Matos. And you've seen this guy for a while, Buster. He was your teammate, I think, in a spring training camp, maybe, if I get my ages right. I'm not even sure if you guys were at camp together a few years ago. But point is what are you seeing as the president of baseball ops from this guy, Luis Matos? Because we're seeing a guy just barreling balls up and kind of on your Casey Schmidt point of looking better like he belongs. What are you seeing?
Yeah, I think that's right. I mean, I think that you're seeing a guy that understands that there's a real opportunity in front of him, and he's taking advantage of it. It's probably tough blow to be sent down, and then have a couple of guys come up before him, not talking to him. I'm assuming that was probably pretty motivating for him, and he looks like he's on a mission. I mean, I really liked the ball 2 nights ago that he hit off the right field wall. Even last night, it felt like he just missed a couple of pitches from driving them, in the gaps or out of the park. And he's a guy that I don't think any of us are surprised that he's had a nice stretch here over the last week or so. And hopefully he continues to seize the opportunity that he has the rest of the year.
Shifting over to center field, Buster, Jung-Hoo Lee is on track to complete his first major league season. He's another player that has had some ups and downs this year, but what have you seen from him, the way that other teams have adjusted to his approach and how he's adjusted to the adjustments to get back on track now?
I think this is going to be such a big year for Jung-Hoo just because you don't really know what a major league season takes until you go through one. Between the amount of games played in a row, the travel across the country, the physical toll, the mental toll, having to deal with the failure that comes from some or a lot of these variables, and then to bounce back like he has, and to start off well and kind of to slump a little bit, and now to me he looks like he's getting back to a spot at the plate where he's hitting some balls on the line the other way. He's spinning on balls when he needs to, and I think ultimately we think that's the type of player that he's going to be. Is a guy that has really good bat control, puts the ball in play, can be a pest at the plate, defensively. The hope is that he becomes that center fielder that just when a ball's in there, that he's the one that everybody's getting out of the way of because they know he's going to get it. And And really, I think I go back to my first point that this first year for him, I say first year, I know last year was his first year, but really his first full year is something I think he's going to be able to learn from, take the information into the off season and know how to prepare himself even better coming into next year.
We're having too much fun talking about position players. We haven't asked you about any pitchers, and you're an old catcher. You're like, come on, guys, you got to win on the mound, man. Ryan Walker is now your closer. I guess I have two questions. The first is, do you have a health update on Randy Rodriguez?
Yeah, still sorting through with Randy. I know he's having conversations with training staff and doctors, so I do not have an update on him. Walks look back to where we saw him in the past. Two seams got a ton of action, sliders getting the lateral movement and depth. But he just looks confident. He looks like he did when he was going really well. And I was about to say I've never faced him. Then I was thinking, luckily I'd never face him because he'd be a nightmare for a right-handed hitter to face with the two-seamer that bores in and the slider going the other direction with him stepping as far across his body as he does. And it's great to see. I mean, he's a guy that is going to be paramount for us in the bullpen.
Okay, yeah, Ryan Walker for sure. And I guess while I stay on the health question, since Randy, we don't know for sure, Blade Tidwell was making some noise at AAA and then had a little setback. Do you have an update on him?
Yeah, I think he's moving in the right direction. I think working on a throwing progression to get back on the mound. He's obviously a guy that we're excited about, but we want to make sure that he's, from a health standpoint, in a good place and doesn't rush back. It's a big arm. And somebody that we're excited to continue to watch as he progresses. So all signs seem positive there.
Few more minutes here with Buster Posey on the Giants Executive Show, sponsored by Redwood Credit Union. Redwood Credit Union is a financial partner that feels like home. Learn more at redwoodcu.org. And Buster, if we're going to talk prospects, we of course have to ask you about Bryce Eldridge. Now, I did see your comments to John Shea the other day, but just for our audience this morning, our KNBR and Giants listeners, do you think Bryce Eldridge will be on the big league roster sometime this season?
I'd say most likely not. I feel like I've said it 100 times, but Bryce is still 20. He's still getting his reps as a first baseman. He's getting his reps as a hitter. Like everybody else, watch the amount of power that Bryce has, and it's hard not to get really, really excited about. And talking to Bryce a little bit, back in spring training, and then listening to how our minor league staff talks about him, we know that he wants to be a complete player, and he's working on that. And I've said it before, I think what excites me the most about Bryce is he does want to be as good a player as he can in all facets. And, that's time, that's repetition. He's continuing to improve. I think it's from my vantage point, it's been nice to see him scuffle a little bit in AAA and then turn it around. Some of these balls that he's driving to left center, you can dream on them big time. I mean, it's similar to what you see with Devers and his ability to drive the ball the opposite way. It's just there's not many guys in the world that have that type of power. But we want to make sure that Bryce is ready when he gets here. We want to make sure that Bryce is ready to impact this team, and that he personally is in the best position to succeed when he gets here.
Well, the good news, Buster, if we keep asking these questions for another 5 weeks, you can say, guys, he's 21 years old. Because I think the birthday's coming up.
Yeah,
right
around the corner.
So there you go. You'll be off the hook.
Well, there you go. We can change it up a little bit.
Hey, just sort of on a serious note, though, he did say to Susan Slusser that he went to Randy Wynn after the Devers trade and said, yo, what's going on? That's a left-handed power-hitting first baseman. What's your answer to Bryce at this point, that you guys have a redundancy there?
Well, actually, we got ahead of that. I don't know if he told Susan that, but that was a conversation that I had with Randy. I said, hey, next time you're down there, go talk to Bryce and just tell him that this doesn't change anything about the way that we think about him and our plans with him going forward. So I don't know if there was wires crossed there or not, but that wasn't Bryce going to Randy. I don't really think that's even his personality, to be honest with you. I think that he's a head down work type of guy, and he's going to show up and do his job. So that was Randy going to Bryce.
All right. And then finally, listen, it's awkward because we all like Bob Melvin and Matt Williams. These are hum babies, man. They go back to Roger Craig and local guy. Bob Melvin grew up a Giants fan and everything, but people are upset. When the team plays poorly, they look at the manager, they yell at the manager. So would you just say to fans, are you waiting to evaluate him at the end of the season, or you're guaranteed lock it in? No, he's our guy in 26.
Well, it's like I was asked that question a couple of days ago by Baggerly and Shea, and the answer is the same. Our focus is completely on trying to win as many games as possible, and it's as simple as that. And our focus is on these next 5 weeks.
There you go, Buster. You still having fun?
I am.
It's been less than a year, by the way. It's kind of an eventful less than a year, hasn't it? It's been very eventful.
Yeah, it has been, but it's baseball. Baseball's great. Can't complain.
No, baseball is great. You got a pretty good job there. We always appreciate you're super patient and generous with your time. Fans get a lot out of these hits, so it helps build. And by the way, you should probably just end it on a super positive note. Your attendance has been spectacular this year. You guys are one of the top year-over-year attendance teams. You're probably pretty grateful to those fans, huh?
Oh, extremely grateful. It's been great to see. I mean, the energy's been great day in, day out, night in, night out, and I got to experience it as a player, and it's the most beautiful ballpark in the world, in my opinion, and there's nothing better to see it with a bunch of fans in it and having a good time, and hopefully we keep playing some good baseball for them like we had these last couple of games at home.
Hey, man, you're giving the ball to Logan Webb in a day game. What could be better? So go enjoy the game. Thanks for all your time, and we'll catch up down the road.
Yeah, thanks, Buster.
Okay, guys, thanks.
There he is, Buster Posey, always generous with his time.